personal power, people positive, the community of connection. This is the Bob Jeswald Show.
So when we do these podcasts, I like hearing my voice like this really deep. We wonder who is the mastermind behind all the controls. I mean, a little fun. It would be Lewis Myers. That's right. I had that, God rest Barry White's soul. But Barry White, what's up, man? How you doing, baby? That's right. I just got someone love to give. Yeah. Yep. So Lewis is in the house. Hello. I can't believe it. Yes. Well, of course, this podcast, where it's at now, you are in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
How about that? That's great. What are you doing down in Tampa?
I am working for news still, but I'll be doing basically everything production for Fox. So it'll be floor directing, it'll be audio, and then directing later on.
So when it comes to the podcast, are you going to do any more of those? Do you know if they have it down here? Or?
As of now, I don't think they have a podcast.
Maybe you start one down there.
But I can't.
That's right.
Because they know.
You know
put
that.
On my resume.
That's good, smart move. Then maybe we can actually still continue a podcast on the side.
Virtually.
Yeah. Virtually. Yeah, there you go. So, no, it's truly amazing. I want everyone to know, too, because, see, Lewis, guys like you, and that are behind is what makes it good. I mean, if it wasn't for you, wouldn't have the success. It drives it. You brought it to a level that's beyond. I mean, when it first started, you got me through my 100th episode and much more. But it's fun. It's so fun because it's so conversation. It's so real. And you tell me this all the time. I think what's interesting to know, everyone has to understand. I'm 58, and you are
23.
The time of this podcast. Yeah. So for a young guy seeing this, you see it in different ways because you listen to it. You consume this media. What is it that you like about it? What was it with ours? Because you knew exactly what we need to do, how to do it, and the cuts you take to promote it, all that good stuff. Where are you coming up with this stuff?
So I spend a lot of time on social media. I don't post often, but I pay attention. I'm a observer. So whenever I see other podcasts on, say, TikTok or Facebook, and they post like little clips from their podcast, I'm like, okay. These are the moments that people want to see because usually I'll end up listening to their podcast based off of the little clip. So I kind of just learn and observe from there. And then whenever moments like that happen in your podcast, I'm like, okay, cool. This is perfect.
Funny. That's great. A funny story because during COVID is when you arrived here. Mm-hmm. So everybody was masked up. So I never saw your face. I didn't even know you had facial hair. Okay. Yeah. So one day you had it off, and you made the joke. You said you were someone else. You had a twin brother, and it fooled Teresa. Or did she make that up? Or because we did. It was like your alter ego.
Marquise, our production manager, made it up.
Okay.
And he called the other guy Dexter.
And we know Dexter, the real Dexter, what he does. Dexter likes knives. You like to cut tape and do all that kind of stuff, cut to the chase, but you don't want to really be the Dexter.
Exactly.
You don't want to be cutting people.
That's pretty much how I kind of convinced some people.
That's funny, but it really was. It's funny how they change people. It's the strangest thing.
And then when I had my blonde hair at that moment, I would just
forgot about that.
Oh, this is Dexter black hair, and then Lewis blonde hair.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. It's crazy. And you had this infectious laugh. You're an easygoing guy.
Thanks.
Always are. And you got a lot of patience. Smart guy. How did you grow up? Because your parents, you're just not your typical 23-year-old. I'm just being honest. I mean, you're very in tune, very responsible, very focused. What's the secret, or how did you become Lewis?
I'll say that my parents grew me up. They had me very young. Well, younger than our generation now, that the amount of people that would have kids.
Well, how old are your parents?
When I was born, they were 27. So now my dad just turned 50. My mom's turning 50 later on.
Yeah, they're young. Yeah. I was 20 from my daughter, my first daughter. I have a 37-year-old. So, but I totally got you. Yeah.
My older sister, their first child, 20.
Was 20, yeah, so you came there.
They start having children young.
They
kind of, by the time I came, they were like, okay, we know what to do, that kind of thing.
But good. You've got a certain, you're very, you go to trips together as a family. You just did a cruise recently from this podcast. It seems like the family's very well grounded.
Yeah. We grew up in a Christian household, so we had a lot of Christian values that came with us. And also, we just know how to have fun with each other. And even though we're not always getting along, but we always come back together because it's family.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Hear a lot. So it says a lot. I mean, it is. And everyone loves and they love being around you. You got poached by a bigger market, which makes sense. I mean, why not? I mean, this is the kind of guy you want to have in your place, in your workplace, period. End of story. You're the new and upcoming future of what's going on. I mean, a 23-year-old doing this stuff. You really find, you're not, what's the word I'm trying to say? Some people would want to take a shortcut. I got to go. I got other things to do. That's not you. You make no excuses. How would you, I think there's so many people your age, and it seems like it's a new generation. You're not the millennial kids. My daughter, you're in
Gen Z.
Yeah. It's just, you guys are different. You care. It's like it's coming back almost like the way your parents and I operate a little bit. And, but then there was that millennial in the middle. Not that they're all bad, but I got millennials in my life, and there was a big difference. Yeah. It's like it's almost reversed. And do you see that? Do you think that's probably likely, or?
Yeah, I see that because a lot of people that I grew up with, they're kind of in the same mindset as me in terms of making sure everything gets done before you go on to something else. Or either if you're doing multiple things at one time, just making sure you do the best that you can at that point.
Good. No, thank God. I mean, it seems simple, doesn't it? And from your point of view, it's innate. I mean, it's like we have to do this, but yet there was there's the me generation. I call them the, even some folks say because your generation's on that, but I truly believe there's thank God there's like a new band in there of new kids on the block, so to speak. Like we're resurrecting the 80s again. But this millennial crowd that was in there, not there's anything bad. There's some that are great, and there's some, but that is such all about me, that millennial. It's me, it's my way, it's my time, it's my me, my mom. And it's just almost very narcissistic in a way.
And I can be like that in terms of I like to get things done myself. I usually don't like to ask other people to do things for me because if I can do it, then I'll do it. So, and that's kind of just how I grew up. So, and with that mindset, that's kind of how I think with working. I do the best that I can. If that's over expectations, then just so happen to be that. But I kind of just keep it level. I do whatever I'm asked to do. And if it's out of my job description, I don't mind learning.
That's key. Boy, you hit the nail on the head. You know how many people listening right now? I mean, it's valuable. I mean, it's some valuable stuff. I mean, there's nothing worse than somebody who doesn't take that approach. Yeah. It's out of your purview, but I'm going to make it happen anyway. Sounds like a military thing. Was your dad in the military? No, because it almost feels, I always thought you were kind of like, you had a family of military background.
Not anyone in my direct family, no.
You guys are from South Georgia. That's where your family comes from.
Yes.
Okay. And you have a sister that left recently, Tampa. Now you're kind of like going back where she was, and your parents like, why? We lost one kid down there. Now she's coming home. Now he's going down there. Yep. What in the world? So what would it? I think it's kind of neat. I mean, it's kind of like bittersweet because you're like, I could have spent some time with sis, but now she's leaving. She came back to the state of Georgia, and you're going down the state of Florida.
Yes.
How about that? Yes. That's excellent.
She just graduated with her doctorate degree. So
wow. Good for her.
She's now Dr. Myers.
Nice.
So that's very.
What does she want? Is she going to practice, or is she going to teach, or what is she going to do with her PhD?
I think she's going to practice. I know she's still finishing some stuff out, but now it's on to the job looking.
Good. Is she getting into psychiatry? What is her?
It's exercise science, that type of physical therapy.
Very neat.
Area.
There's a guy at Florida State University, and he was on our podcast here. Golly, I just forgot his name, but he's at FSU, and he does that. He's a science physical therapist / he does something in that area, and it's fascinating stuff. Yeah. So Doc, they call him Doc, but Doc something. But anyway, he's cool, real fascinating, neat field, because it's like kinesiology and all this other stuff that kind of goes along with it. But you need that kind of people to understand physical science to be able to apply it to many different sports or whatever it may be, whatever program or whatever you're doing. That's excellent. That sounds pretty good. And your long-term vision, 23 years old, you can do just about everything. But I could tell you something. I'm just looking at you. There's more to Lewis Myers than this. I mean, not that this is bad, and you are making a nice bump up and raise in salary, but you're going to go beyond that. Or do you want to kind of stay in the TV world kind of thing?
I would like to stay in like TV and film. So I would like to transition into movies and TV shows, that kind of thing. Growing up, ideally, I wanted to be a TV writer. So any TV shows, anything like that, I would come up with something in my head and write a script for it. And I'll usually think of a story idea in like 2 seconds and then just write it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I still do. I just do it on the side now. And that's still pretty much what I want to do. But news kind of just came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, I do like doing this. So I'll continue on with news. And then if TV writing gets better, especially with the strike going on right now.
Yeah, that's right.
If it gets better,
you could
then I'll
cross
get
the
back
picket
into it.
line. You
Yeah.
could be a scab. Scab Lewis Myers coming in there, getting his break. You know,
Yeah.
SAG, step away. But you know what's interesting though. But it's cool that you said that because that's a creative edge that you got to have. You clearly got that road of like, this is what I want to do. Could you go to a place? Let's say, would you go somewhere like back to Georgia? Hollywood of the South, opposed to going out to California to do something like that. Did you see that?
Yeah. This is the biggest change for me going to somewhere like Tampa because that's the biggest city I've ever lived in. Coming from a small town, I'm not used to all the traffic and fast drivers and that kind of thing. So this is me stepping out of my comfort zone for sure. And then once I get through this, I think I'll be good to go anywhere. But back to Georgia would be cool.
It's cool out of your comfort zone. I think you hit something here. There's so many people that don't get out of their comfort zone, so they're not really giving it all that they need to do. So do you kind of see yourself that way?
Yeah. I was going to limit myself and just staying in a small area, but I was like, okay, I need to be happier and go out and do things, my goals, my dreams, aspirations, and that's usually in the bigger city, so I need to get over it.
I love it. Just do it. Get over it and do it. Yeah. Take the leap. I'm glad you did. Yeah. I mean, you have to do that. There's so many people that don't take that chance. They're afraid to. Any advice do you give your friends? I mean, it seems like you would be the one, kind of the grounded one. Do you give people advice when you talk to them?
I try, yeah.
What do you usually say?
I usually just say, do whatever makes you happy. Don't really think about anyone else in the certain moments that you're in. Whatever makes you happy. If it comes off as selfish, so be it. Just be nice about it. Just always be nice. It doesn't hurt to be like caring and nice and that kind of thing. I know some people kind of have to go off and have to be negative in certain aspects, but usually people remember niceness more than they would remember something bad. And if they remember something bad, they'll remember it forever.
Absolutely. There's an episode.
Come back to get you. Yeah.
When you and I were still doing this, there was an episode we did with Kay Oliver. I don't know if you remember her. She was, she was the author, novelist. She worked as a editor in Hollywood. She's done a lot of different things, worked with all the stars and celebrities. And she made that one comment. It's that one episode. She used Jamie Foxx as an example. And I had asked her, he's a great guy. And she said, gee, you should have seen one episode he had. It wasn't even worth getting ticked about. But that one moment is the one that everybody remembers. So do the things that, I mean, that makes sense. I have to learn from that. Because there's episodes I did. I pulled a couple Jamie Foxxes. But I thought in my mind I had a good reason to get pissed.
Exactly, yeah.
But you got to have a good reason.
Everyone's human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's going to be things. And that's you want to know. But it's funny how those one things, it could be that one thing could last and hang on. Will Smith. There you go. Chris.
So that's why you always have to smile your way through it.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? That's the truth. That's the truth. And we don't even have alopecia to get mad over. That's what she was saying. So, and that whole situation with Will. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm looking at your tattoo in the left arm.
Oh, yes.
KYSA.
Yes.
What does it stand for?
Keep yourself alive.
Love it.
Yep.
That's it. And what's above? I can't see what's even front.
Oh,
it's a boat. Okay. Why the boat?
I really like just the idea of traveling, and a boat kind of symbolizes like travel and
sea, navigating, getting through anything, any storm you can see and get through.
Yes.
I love it. And the right arm?
It's like a forest lone wolf type thing, and it just says like, you think you know me. Is basically don't judge a book by its cover.
I think that's perfect. And that's something we won't do with you because we already get the real Lewis. It's quiet, soft-spoken, but a man of honor and doing it right.
Thank you.
So appreciate you. I'm going to miss you, too.
Yes.
We already miss you.
Too.
Yeah, we miss you. I mean, you've been tremendous, and everybody knows, certainly there's some good people that, could I use this phrase, that sail through here. And you sailed here. The ship is now sailing on to bigger and better things for you, for your life and your career. So we're proud of you. Good job. Going to miss you, man.
I'll always come back.
Yeah, please do. Please visit. Still got a home here,
Yes.
even though you're from South Georgia.
Yes.
Well, that's Lewis Myers, everybody. You got a little snippet of Lewis. You can check him out, too. I mean, he'll be, year round. I mean, you got some stuff going on YouTube. Search him up on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
And, he's out there, so Lewis Myers. What is your handle out there? Do you do anything?
It's usually Modest Broken.
Modest Broken. I like that.
So
and
it's
he is.
usually that,
I like that. Now you get another podcast for another time. So I heard the broken part.
Yeah.
But you're not broken.
Yeah.
But you're broken in a way of a sincere, like yeah.
A lot of the things that I like, my email and that kind of thing, came from stories that I made, or either when I was bored. So Modest Broken came from when I was 12. It was a song that I really liked called Modest, and another song that I really liked called Broken. And back then, I used to make CDs for myself. So I would name the CD Modest Broken, and like the first one would be Modest, last one would be Broken, and then just different songs in between.
Okay, play it. What's one of the songs? Is there one you could cue out? What's one of your songs?
2012. I can't remember.
Oh, jeez. Was it really that long ago, 2012? Yeah, it was. I can't believe it.
Yeah. So that's where I came up.
Wow. That's so cool. What grade were you in 2012?
Sixth grade. I think sixth grade.
Sixth grade back then?
I think middle school. It was sometime middle school. Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, does time fly? It
That's-
seems like a long time for you. I know it's, over a decade ago, but still.
It feels like it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's crazy how fast time flies.
Just like little stuff that I do. Like my email is based off of one of the story characters that I made in one of my, scripts. And so I kind of just go from there, and people always ask, they're like, "Oh, where is it from?" I'm like, "It's just a story. It's nothing dealing with me. It's just a story."
Okay. See, I was going real deep here. I was trying to really dig and get some breaking news from KYSA. Keep Yourself Alive with Lewis Myers.
Is a song.
That's a song. Yeah. Keep Yourself Alive. Who sings it?
It's a band called Phantogram, and I heard it from a video game, and it kind of just stuck with me. And I would just like listen to it.
How does it go? I mean, is there a way you can hum it? Like, dude, keep yourself alive.
It's kind of like that.
Is it really?
It's kind of like soft, but the instrumental is like just a position. To it. So it's kind of, I don't know how to, I won't say Jimi Hendrix type, but it's kind of
okay. Yeah, I was
electronic.
Dun 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 dun. Keep yourself alive. Excuse me while I keep myself alive. Do 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 do. While I kiss the sky, keeping myself alive. Picking with my teeth. There you go. Love hearing you laugh, Lewis. It's always good.
Yes.
I found a moment. Is this a moment we can have?
Yes, this is the moment.
Is this a moment? We can hear this anytime we want. That's right. Sounds good. Well, we appreciate you. Love you, brother. I really do. I mean that sincerely. Maybe 23, but you're like an old soul. Yeah. Fully connect with you. Age is irrelevant. Just the fact that that you were part of my life. I appreciate it. Taught me a lot. You did. You really have. You really have. You're a great guy. You get it. I can look at you. You know when stuff's BS. Yeah. You can call BS and still smile. And I can look at you and he's confirming it's BS. Yes, it's BS. So this is BS right now. I'm just BSing right now. But no, but I mean that sincerely.
Yes.
Hey, wherever you get your podcast, Lewis, is always. You helped us get on YouTube. YouTube. So we're on YouTube and WRBL.com. And, of course, wherever you get your Spotify, your iHeart, or your Apple. Yeah. I guess we're an Audible. All these other. How do they get on there? That's my last thing I want to ask you. How the heck does that even happen? I never even asked you. I mean, how do you get this stuff on there? You just do it for us, and it's incredible.
It's like a website. It's multiple websites that do this for podcasts, but once you put the audio file up there and all the information, it'll send it off to each website.
Cool.
So it kind of connects to the profile that you make.
Neat.
So it kind of just automatically does it.
That's cool. Yeah. But YouTube would be separate, obviously.
Yeah, YouTube is separate.
Yeah.
The Spotify, iHeart, all of those, it comes together with the website.
And for somebody to do that, you have to, you got to pay a fee or something, or is that how?
It's usually free.
Oh, it is?
Especially now when everyone doing the podcast is free now. And they have different sites that you could use if you prefer one over the other. It's kind of like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. And also they're the ones like the browser you choose, so to speak, and they're the ones who disseminate the information to those platforms. And
then they'll let you know your analytics, all of that from each one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you just do it. You just so people go out there and just be yourself and do it. It's good, and you make money. Obviously, the more hits or whatever, then they get commercials
And
or
ad sponsors.
Ad sponsors, yeah.
all that type of stuff,
I like that. It's hard to break in, but they're there. I mean, it's good information. You get to see behind the scenes. This is inspiring, folks. You want to hear this? Anybody out there? No, there's so much hope in this next generation, no doubt. When we always say, "Oh, where is this going?" Lewis Myers is a true testament to there's a lot of good things going. That's what's happening in our future, and you'll be the ones taking care of us.
Yes.
Except your parents are young, so it'd be more me first. Sorry, parents. Take care of me first. Yes. So it's good. Well, Lewis Myers in the house out there in Tampa, Florida, enjoying. Can't wait to hear your next adventure because I know you're going to go somewhere. It's going to be big, and hopefully you'll do that writing, that part of it there. I can see you doing that. Really can. Creative. Good job.
Thank you.
Take care. Be safe.